have you ever been to a dinner where there's a table full of just strangers, like people you don't know?
Yes, I have.
This adventure of a dinner with strangers is what is making millions of dollars.
We're talking about an app called Timeleft today. They today do about 18,000 dinners every week. What age are you? What are your interests like? What kind of people you like? And then there's a matchmaking algorithm behind this. So they could connect you with people who are around your age group.
So I'm gonna be set up on this dinner with 7 strangers. So folks, welcome to episode 1 of Shortcut. Ankit, I want to start this by asking you a question. And that question is, have you ever been to a dinner where there's a table full of just strangers, like people you don't know?
Yes, I have.
That is, wow. How? Tell me more about it.
So this was a dinner I went to almost 10 years back.
Yes.
It was with people who I went on a trek with.
Okay.
So we climbed a pass, come back down in Manali.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a table full of people who I didn't know.
Wow. Okay. That sounds like a rare incident, honestly. How did that go? Do you have any recall of that?
Oh, yes. The dinner ended up with a brawl.
How can we forget a brawl? Okay.
And
tell me more about it.
So people got drunk and people started having fun.
Yeah.
A little too much fun.
Okay.
And let's keep it short. But
Sure. I mean, we don't want to divulge into the details of fun, but you're saying people started having fun and then
this started having fun. People started fooling around. There was a bit of a brawl with the locals.
Okay.
And we made lifelong friends.
You made lifelong friends.
Yes.
From that event.
Yes.
So a brawl and a set of lifelong friends. That is one heck of a story. And this adventure of a dinner with strangers is what is making millions of dollars for a set of founders and their app. Ankit.
We're talking about an app called Timeleft today. So just to give you some backdrop around how Timeleft has been faring. They went from 0 to $1 million in 7 months, 1 to 10 million in another 7 months. They today do about 18,000 dinners every week.
Wait, did you just say $1 to $10 million in 7 months? So that's more than $1 million added in revenue per month?
Yes. And they're growing fast. Right? So this is what is Timelapse story. And
tell me more about their journey. How did these guys start? What was the thought? How do you just land into this idea?
So Timeleft is by the founder is Maxim Barbier. He started off in Portugal. He sold his first company a few years back to a French national TV house. And since then, he'd been fidgeting around with ideas. So this is, mind you, it looks great to say that it's 7 months, which it took them for 1 to 10 million, but there's a whole backstory behind it, right?
Right.
They took at least 4 years before they figured this shit out.
Right. And there were also multiple pivots, like 3 different pivots they made.
Yes, they did
Right.
4 pivots.
4 pivots, right?
Before they landed onto this, right? So it's been a journey for them. It wasn't, they started off with bucket list. They started off with getting people to meet together. Then you had the classic londe hai to londe wale problem even in the States.
So let's just try to break this down, Ankit. Let's try to communicate what does Timeleft actually do. So I'm a user, I go to their website or I download their app, right? I sign up on the application and there's a subscription fee. The subscription fee they have currently stands at $20.
$20 a month.
$20 a month. Right?
Yes.
So I pay that fee and then I've signed up and they do something. They have this one day in the week that they pick up, right? It's Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I'm going to have a dinner set up on my calendar with a set of strangers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there any rationale or logic to who are they connecting me with?
Yes. So they have this set of questions that they ask you during the onboarding journey.
Right.
What age are you? What are your interests like? What kind of people you like?
Right.
Etc. And then there's a matchmaking algorithm behind this.
the word algorithm, everybody in the startup circuit, they just smile. There is cryptic smile. Algorithm to hum bhi jaante hain, bhai, kya hi ho gaya? But yes, there is some cryptic algorithm that is at work and it tries to find the right set of people to create an interesting table.
So they could connect you with people who are around your age group for better context. It also depends on what stage of the journey you're in. Is it your 20th dinner, the second dinner, the 200th dinner?
Right.
Right? How open are you as a person to new experiences? What's
Right.
why? Right.
So almost every matchmaking app that you see, whether it's a Bumble or it's a LinkedIn suggestion on who you should connect to, right? It's based on certain algorithms, based on your preferences, what you like, what you don't like, who you are, your background.
Yeah.
And this is what they are doing as well, right? So,
Yeah.
So I'm going to be set up on this dinner with 7 strangers. And how long are they going to be a stranger for me? Do I get to know about them the moment I have been booked on that event, or do I get to meet them, like uncover who this person is going to be on the table itself?
So I'll tell you something interesting about this, right? When they started off, they initially put out photos, names, details of the people around.
Right.
And people started to use it like a dating app, right? Where especially men, world over, they're all the same. They're all the same. So it started to go a bit off track from what the founder initially thought. So they rolled back a bunch of this stuff. You don't get the photo, you don't get the number, and you don't even get the details. You just get to know that, okay, you're booked with 6 people, maybe 3 females, 3 males, and then go and have fun and have conversations and then make friends.
Are people actually able to, like, and I'm talking like introverts and people who have some sort of social anxiety, right? For somebody like that, how do you even go to this? Okay, I am booked on an event and it's a Wednesday evening. So I know that I have to reach a certain place in 1 hour, right? So I end up going there. I enter the restaurant and there must be a way for me to spot the table. Maybe there's a booking made or something of that sort, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So I spot that table and that is when I actually get to know who are these people I'm going to be spending time with.
Yes, that's correct.
That's scary.
That's scary and interesting at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much adrenaline
at some point of time.
Yeah. 100%.
Date is a very similar concept. It's just gone with a more romantic intent in mind.
Yeah. In fact, I think in this situation, maybe it's slightly safer also because, you know, when you're going on a Tinder or a Bumble or a Hinge date, what happens is that there's just 2 people. Yes. Both people come there with a certain amount of, you know, there's some intent in their head on, okay, I have to be this way or what do you expect the other person to be. But when you're on a table with multiple strangers,
it makes it more safer.
I'm less anxious about anything here, right? On performing better on the table or maybe just how do I engage people, right? What if I don't like this guy? Then there are other...
I'll tell you what's interesting, right? It's designed by nature to be more safer than one-on-one meetings. One, it's a public place. It's a restaurant, right? So there's already a bunch of people around. So you can't really fuck around in that way. 2, you've got more people around you. So it's not like, you know, that things are going on and there's an emergency and you can't talk and all of that. So because there are more people, you inherently don't do things out of the ordinary, right? You need privacy to do things which are not right, if I were to broadly. So I think I really like the concept of multiple people meeting over dinner who you don't know. I think it's a great way to expand your network. And going by Timeleft's original mission statement, right? They're trying to solve the problem of loneliness in urban cities across the world.
So just by how they have placed the event, right, or how they have designed the entire itinerary, it seems that they have, and I'm pretty sure it might not have happened in the first shot, but over a period of time, they've somehow weaved safety into the fabric of this idea. Correct? It's in a common place, and then there are people, multiple people, not just one person. So the risk associated with the stranger is slightly lower as well.
Yeah. So see, everybody has had their, like, from whatever research we did and what Maxim has mentioned, you will have some bumps in the road.
Yes.
But manageable bumps. Let's put it that way.
Right. So I think I think what we did was we wanted to understand why is it that people are jumping on this, and $10 million is a large revenue to sit on, right?
Yeah.
So we were super curious on what is it that makes this app work.
Yeah.
And we saw through a few TikToker reviews and people reviews, and it was a incredible journey. We learned a few things
We
there.
learned so much
Right.
out of why this is working.
Right.
You originally just think, this is a cool idea. Even I could do it.
Right.
This is so random. How is this guy really making so much money? Why are people jumping on this shit? Right? That's the first thing that you get.
Yeah.
So you want to take those customer reviews? What did we see?
Yes, 100%. So there was a TikToker we saw who, a very loud one for that matters. That TikToker was recording the entire experience, right? So 2 hours or 1 hour before the dinner, he starts recording and sharing what he's anticipating in the dinner. And then at the dinner table, also he's recording something. And then at the end of it, he shows us the entire journey. So there is a fair amount of awkwardness at the table as well, right? And a lot of reviews we saw, people were like, hey, I was super anxious the first time I went there, right? That seems to be a common theme. Everybody was that, right?
So what I found interesting, the most interesting part in those customer reviews was that people went to more dinners after the first one, irrespective of how exactly it turned out. Like it
Right.
may not have turned out as they hoped for, but the hope of finding somebody new on my next dinner is what convinced people to come back again and again and again.
Right. Right. So even though multiple people, not just one person, okay, there are multiple people who have had 4-star, 3-star, 2-star experiences also, they do plan to go back again. That is the power of loneliness. Yeah, maybe loneliness is the right word here. So loneliness ka power is that even though your experiences were not great, retention does not get compromised in this application.
Yes, that's a beauty.
That is so powerful. Like bad experience will not lead to churn because this person's motivation to stay here is so strong. That is loneliness, right? This person is for a community. Right?
Correct.
Right. It's mind blowing.
So let me ask you this, right? And this is going into, the curiosity that we had. Why does this shit work? They've gone to 18,000 dinners a week. They were at 7,000 dinners 7 months back.
18,000 dinners a week sounds just insane. Like the Rameshwaram guy, I don't know whether he does that much or not. It's crazy. Yeah.
He does that a day.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Rameshwaram. Bye.
But yeah. So, and guess what? They're not stopping. They're currently adding 3,000 users a day to the app. Right? So I see them going from 20,000 dinners a week to maybe 100,000 in another 5-10 months, maybe a year.
Yeah.
Maybe even 1 million dinners a week in 2 years or 3 years. Maybe.
Weren't you also talking about that interesting clip from the guy where he keeps saying that, hey, we went to Paris and people said, Paris doesn't need this.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. That was super interesting.
So, like we just, when we started off with this idea and our first thoughts were, this should work. I want this, but will people really adopt this and all? And typical 0 to 1 journey, right?
Yeah.
So Maxime, the founder, he started off in Portugal. He's a Portuguese by native. So started off in Portugal. People said, nah, Portuguese people are all closed. Nobody's going to use it and all. Went in, 25 dinners the first time, 3,500 just took off. Portugal to France, same feedback. People are closed, French people are snobby, they won't talk about this, nobody will come. Went in, took off like mad. Went to UK. You've seen the skinheads.
Yeah.
And the same feedback. Again took off. And he went to Brazil. Reverse feedback. But people are so friendly in Brazil. Why do we even need this? We're already meeting. Every time he went to a new country, the app just took off.
So, okay. Now, because these are wildly different geographies, right? One is Europe, one is North America, one is South America, right? Now we are looking at whatever this app is solving for has to be geography agnostic, has to be culture agnostic.
It's solving for humans.
It's solving for humans and a very core to human problem, that is loneliness.
Yes.
Right? And that is a big one to solve for.
Yes. Human connections in today's day and age, with technology being omnipresent and prevalent in all our lives, I think is a big area where a lot of money can be made.
Right. Why do you think the lonely, so one pattern that I think we spoke of yesterday when we were looking at those reviews also was that this is migration leading to this particular problem. Generally speaking, the lonely economy is considered very, very big. For example, pets are also assumed to be a part of it. Solo travel is assumed to be a part of it. Tinder, Bumble, everything is a part of it, right? But what we are looking for in this particular app, which is Timeleft, right? The core thesis that they're trying to solve is a person who has migrated to a new place, does not have community, is looking for community, right?
So, may or may not be migrated. I'd not put it that way. But let me paraphrase this. When was the last time you made friends outside of work or college? That's it. That's the answer. Right? You can't remember.
Yeah.
You won't, because it's hard to do.
Yeah. No, I think with every passing day, it gets more and more difficult to find new people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is the most core need that this app taps into and solves for. Right.
So a human's innate ability to find companionship, community, not necessarily romantic, but just people to your tribe, finding
your vibe, your tribe, my people who I can chill with. I think that's what is Timeleft solve. See, the most interesting part in all the user reviews that we saw was that if you just made one friend out of 6 people, that was enough.
I would pay $100 a month if I know that I am going to find great company here. I don't know where else to park that money. Right now, I go and spend a ton of weird kind of money at a bar or at a dinner or at where not, hoping that, there is some sort of community expansion happening. But this is an app built for that. I'm $100 finding a new great friend is nothing.
Yeah. So this is the exact reason why this app works. And let me tell you something more. It looks so easy on the outside, right? हम भी बना लेंगे. It's that kind of.
देखो अभी तक तो I'm convinced कि हम भी बना लेंगे.
Right. This is very much in that category, if I were to broadly put it. But imagine the scenario. You're 6 people. You don't know anybody. How awkward that can be.
That can be super awkward.
So this customer videos that we were seeing, where you had 6 people, all of them were being shot by this TikToker who was doing a review. You could see the hell of awkwardness that they were facing. There's no alcohol, by the way. And they're like, what do you talk about? What do I talk about? People just going, right? You ease up over a period of time, but it, like I said, it looks very easy on the outside. But when people actually get together, they possibly might not even talk. That's the reason they're lonely also, for that matter.
Yeah.
It's a non-trivial problem to solve.
100%. It's a non-trivial problem, 100%. Yes. On the outset, it looks like a, what's that YC list of horrible ideas called?
Oh, this is a classic tar pit idea. As per Y Combinator.
Yes.
Right?
It looks like one, but it's really not, because the problem is very...
I'm sure if he had applied to YC, they would have put it out as a tar pit idea.
Yeah.
Said, please, sorry.
Correct. But it's actually, think of it, is it okay to think of it like how there is a certain segment in the VC community which thinks of deep tech, right? Is this like a deep society problem? Do you think this could be like a deep society problem?
See, I think of this as a loneliness problem.
Isn't loneliness supposed to be like a deep society problem that
It is inherent in so many levels and visible in so many ways. Let me give you some examples, right? Astrotalk. I would put it under the loneliness market.
Astrotalk,
The astrologer.
yeah.
And
They also paid a lot of money recently.
a hell of a lot of.
Yeah, right. Okay. Perfect.
Uh,
They were looking for a CMO, yeah. If the founder is watching, you know.
like, share, subscribe, guys.
Apply also. Sorry.
Please tag it.
Yeah.
Zomato District.
Hmm.
It doesn't directly solve for the loneliness bit,
Hmm.
but the whole point of experiences, people wanting to go out, people wanting to do new things,
Hmm.
falls under that market. So there's already a lot of small communities mushrooming around,
Right.
right?
Right.
But before going there, I have a question for you. Do you think, let's come to, is India ready? And is India big enough for something like Timeleft?
Hmm. Okay. So now we're talking about building something like Timeleft for India, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to build something like Timeleft in India, I think there are three big chunks they have to be true so that you can build something like that,
Okay.
right? First one being, do people in India also feel lonely to the degree that they feel in other Western countries?
Okay.
Second is, are there enough such people in India, right?
Right.
And third is, are these people ready to take a leap of faith and go on a dinner with strangers?
I think you bang on.
Yeah.
And I completely concur. Let's go a bit deeper.
Sure.
Right.
Let's start with the first one, which
Start
is,
with the first
are people lonely enough?
Are people lonely enough?
Right. Yeah.
How would you measure or how would you answer that question, that are people lonely enough?
I do not know if I have a quantitative sense of it, but I do see a pattern and think that's interesting. One of the core reasons for loneliness that I have seen firsthand experience is migration, right?
Yes.
I have migrated to Bangalore. I think you have migrated to Bangalore.
Yes.
Right. Earlier in 2024, I think there was a news report that said more than 50% of Bangalore's population is now migrant population.
Got it.
Right. Do you know somebody who has migrated from another city to Bangalore and feels lonely?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that we would find that
Same.
way, right?
Same.
I think I wouldn't call it solely a migrant problem per se, because I look at the loneliness problem in the way that people are looking for community,
Right.
right? So expansion of your community, meeting more like-minded people, meeting your tribe is universal across, whether that be migrants, non-migrants, whoever else for that matter. And there have been enough community setups around this which have been existing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Religious communities,
Yes.
business communities, networking, traders, etc. All kinds of people, mind you. Not even coming to the young Gen Z audience, COVID affected, woke culture, वो सब पे तो we haven't even gotten to, right? So
Right.
I think it's a fairly existential need.
Yes. Yes. I think it is. And I am obviously biased with my own first-hand experiences, but my first-hand experiences is that I've seen a bunch of very young folks recently. So my team always has like these entry-level folks joining also, right? Every time they move to Bangalore, I have seen them find things, and I don't know from where on the planet do they find things, right? But they find things to be less lonely. And I think I'll keep what they are finding reserved for a later part. But I think I have seen enough people come to Bangalore for opportunity and just feel very lost in, hey, I want to spend time, quality time with somebody, and I don't have that somebody.
Yeah. So just to summarize, are people lonely enough?
A strong yes from me.
Strong yes. I think there's more than enough such.
But is it a strong yes from you also?
It is.
It is.
It is.
So both of us feel that it's a strong yes that
Yes.
people in India, like loneliness is a problem felt profoundly in the urban India setup today.
Yes. Urban India.
Urban India.
Yeah.
Urban India. Okay, solid. So, okay, so we have established, then we are both on the same page about this thing, that there are enough, like loneliness is a strong enough problem in India. The next thing we want to understand for Timeleft to be successful in India is, are there enough of these people, right?
Yes.
Now it's difficult to quantify enough, but let me put it in a way that, you know how we always talk about, build a business, 1 crore rupiya to kamana padega.
Yeah.
Right? So how many users will it take for something like this in India to make 1 CR per annum?
So let's break this math down a bit.
What's according to you a right subscription fee, monthly subscription fee?
Now, before I get into the subscription fee, let's break this down by some numbers, right? When we say, are enough people ready to take on your product, right? You could potentially put 3 numbers out there: 1 crore a year, 10 crores a year, 100 crores a year, right? That's the revenue rate that we are looking at. For 1 crore a year, you need 1,000 people paying you $1,000 a month. You hit 1 crore a year. For 10 crore a year, you need 10,000 people paying you $1,000 a month. For 100 crores a year, you need 1 lakh people paying you $1,000 a month.
Yeah, the first one sounds very, very doable, by the way. Huh?
First one, though, if we share in our alum communities, I think we'll get 1,000 people from there.
Yeah, so you are saying if 1,000 people download this app and this app charges you 1,000 rupees a month.
Yes. For 4 dinners, so consider it $250 a dinner.
Sure.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I will have a turnover of 1 CR.
This is just subscription. I'm not even talking about the take rate from the restaurant.
ये तो करना पड़ेगा भाई.
So 1,000 into 1,000, that just gives you the first 1 crore. That's how you make your first 1 crore. 10,000 people paying $1,000 a month, I still think pretty doable. I don't really see that to be too much of a problem. Right? Throw stones in HSR and you'll have 100 people coming out from somewhere. So 10,000 people is quite doable.
Right.
100,000 people paying you $1,000 a month. I would say yes for a large extent, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I read on this Twitter thread as a very good proxy for a lot of things consumer in India. Oppenheimer, the movie, Christopher Nolan, did 150 crores in India. Take a $300 kind of a ticket price, change 5 million people. Right? 5 million people pay if you take 100,000 people. Pretty doable.
Yeah, sounds 100% doable. Yeah.
So I think 100 crore business, I think there is more than enough opportunity. And we're just talking about dinners.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mind you.
Yeah.
So it's one category, one type, one format, and subscription.
So, okay, just to sum this up in a perfect manner, are people lonely enough in India? We established that's a strong yes from both of us.
Yes.
Are there enough people in India and enough ka lowest barrier, let's put it at, to build a company that does 1 CR turnover in an year?
Yeah.
Right. That just takes 1,000 users paying you $1,000 a month. That's it. Right.
Yes.
So very doable. Right.
Yes.
All right. Let's move to the third bit of it. Right. Is India ready for something like this? If I launch this app tomorrow,
yes,
do you think India will probably buy this? And do we have, so my assumption is that the right way to look at this is probably to see if there are signals of this happening. Or
correct.
Are there signals?
I think so. So there are all kinds of loneliness solutions, if I were to broadly call that.
That sounds absolutely wild.
Somebody called a massage as a loneliness. Yes, but not getting into those kinds of solutions.
For all practical purposes within this podcast, loneliness just means what we are talking about right now, guys. So we know.
Yes. So one way to look at it is take a look at Zomato district. They're trying to solve for events where people go out, do experiences.
Event market has been blowing up.
Event is blowing up. It is only going up further and further. The need for human connections, going out, all of that is on the uptake, right? And there's a lot of small mushrooming communities across the country in different cities.
Bangalore, there are so many
putting scenes where they put out a list of 10 new things to do every day.
Right.
You could meet your tribe of pottery people, cocktail folks, all kinds of stuff, right? Cool things that they're doing. I think they have 20,000 plus people in their community. There is Kunzum Cafe in Oscars Village. Has existed for the longest time that I know. Right? Just travelers come, meet, eat.
Right. Recently, do you remember we met Dharmesh and there was this
Tindi Walk.
Right. There is Secret Sorry. Suhas is doing.
Right. So bunch of small mushrooming communities around a lot of it.
Right.
And active participation by people.
Right.
So that tells you that there is enough people out there, enough signals out there to say that something like this can work.
This thread just keeps running in my head, but if you go to Cubbon on a Sunday, there are like 5 different communities there. There's Cubbon Reads, Cubbon Dogs, Cubbon Walks, Cubbon Founders, Cubbon does everything there, right?
Yes.
So it's very, I think people
just not out like there. 10,000 DAO.
Yeah, easy. DAO, best DAO. Why is nobody? Oh wait, government of Karnataka is investing in it. Not bad.
Yes.
But okay. So I think the premise of this conversation was: do we see enough signals? Right?
Yes.
A widespread number of signals, large signals, small signals, micro signals, all sorts of signals exist.
So I think we're a yes on the measure of the problem at an individual level. Like we're a yes on whether people are lonely. We are a yes on whether enough people are lonely. And we are a yes on are there signals which people are adopting to different solutions for their loneliness.
100%. Yes. Correct.
So I think it's a go.
All 3 tick marks done. We do not see a good reason why somebody builds this and is not able to bring 1 CR out of it.
Now, let me ask you the biggest question.
Yes, sir.
Will a VC fund this?
I see the TAM slide being super tricky because just defining what loneliness is, it's super, super tricky. But I also have this strong belief that VCs might relate to this. They are lonely as fuck, right? So if they don't connect, bhai kaun connect karega? So I think if you have a deck, we will leave you a deck at the end of the show also. Yes, make your edits, just try pitching. Who knows? I have good rationale to believe they would invest.
So I think Timeleft for India is a great idea.
Bro, ab kahin paisa nahi milega yaar, but that's okay. Timeleft for India.
Timeleft for India, great idea. I would love to be the first customer.
Same.
I would be happy to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, 1,000 rupees per month, 2 users already done. If you're building it, you drop a link, we download it, we are the first users. Free feedback forever.
Yes. Again, like, share, subscribe, guys.
Like, share, subscribe. No shortcuts here, guys. You have to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
जाके बंधन पूरा होता है.
Yes. Okay. If you need help with the deck, we'll share a sample one at the end of this.
Yeah, it's not sample, guys. It's a serious deck that we just distills everything that we spoke of and tries to make a business case for it.
Yes. So it's material for you, which you could use for your business, which might be adjacent, parallel, you're starting up, whatever.
Yes.
We thought there's a cool idea and we put together some numbers. So we're sharing that with all of you out there. So please take a look at that and like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Let's go. Share this with your friends. Share this with your probable co-founder also, by the way.
So that's it from us. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.